morning. Good
Good morning.
morning. Good morning, Pitt County. Yes, you're listening to Pitt Perspectives here on Awesome Radio 107.5 FM, 1570 AM, WECU. And as always, I'm your host, Victor Ihuka. And as always, I'm joined by my half amazing, half annoying brothers. Can I say brothers? Yes, AY and Patrick. What's up, guys?
Yeah,
What's
good
going
morning,
on?
Pitt County. Good morning. It's good to be here on Pitt Perspectives on Awesome Radio Network, and we are so glad and happy, excited to have this show this morning. I'm sure you're as excited as we are, and it's going to be an amazing show. Patrick,
Yeah,
what's
As
up,
good
man?
morning,
always.
good morning, good morning, Pitt County. It's Patrick on the one, the two, the three, the awesome radio once
Wow.
again
Boy.
in the studio. It's amazing to be here. Yeah, how's everybody doing?
Yeah, so guys,
We're bright.
before we dive in, we want to give a big birthday shout out to our amazing
Yes.
producer, the lady that makes it happen all behind the scene, Miss Akila Thickpen Makada.
Yeah.
Woo!
Woo.
Yeah, Akila, we love you. We appreciate you. We hope your birthday was as awesome as your spirit. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, AY and Patrick, let's kick off today with the news roundup from around Pitt County. What's been happening this week, guys?
Okay, the first news I have here this morning says Greenville named one of the best places to live in 2025.
Yeah. Yes, so Greenville, North Carolina has been ranked among believability.com's top 100 blessed places to live in
Wow.
2025. Praised for its thriving local economy, cultural vitality, and strong community spirit. The city earned high marks for environmental quality, education, transportation, housing affordability, and cost of living. Greenville is one of seven North Carolina cities to make the list, and it stands out as a cultural and educational hub in eastern North Carolina. According to Livability and the Greenville Eastern North Carolina Alliance, the ranking reflects Greenville's continued growth while maintaining affordability, which is a key metric in this year's ranking methodology. The list was developed using nearly 100 data points. You would know this as an economist. Yeah, focusing on quality of life, economic strength, and livability. Local leaders like Josh Lewis, the CEO of Greenville ENC Alliance, says this recognition highlights how Greenville is becoming a top choice for professionals, families, and entrepreneurs looking for both opportunity and lifestyle. How about that, guys?
Yeah, I mean it's a big achievement. It's
Yeah, I
a
think
big deal
so.
because I mean Greenville provide and supports people that stay here. There's a lot of things that you enjoy here. You know, living around here. You know,
Yeah.
there's
And I think
peace,
these
there's
are some of the things
serenity,
we've talked
and
about
there's
too.
Yeah,
growth.
So,
and
Yeah,
not
yeah.
to
At some
forget that we
point.
mentioned the population went to over 180,000.
yeah,
So
Yeah,
yeah.
that shows
so
why the
yeah,
I
population
mean,
is
we believe in
increasing
this
and all
place
that.
so much too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to be frank too, I've seen folks online who shit on this place. I mean, there are always those kinds of people too,
I mean,
you
there's
know. But
always
hey,
positives and negatives about
yeah, that's
everything.
true.
So
But
yeah.
yeah, that's amazing. Yes, moving on, guys.
Yes. The next news I have here says broadband expansion reaches final stretch in Pitt County.
Yeah, that's some good news, guys.
yeah,
Yep,
yeah,
that's some
yeah,
good
yeah,
news.
yeah.
Yeah, so Pitt County is one step closer to full broadband access thanks to a new $41 million statewide grant. 534 more homes and businesses in the county will receive high speed internet, reducing the number of unconnected locations to just 43. This marks a major milestone for a project that began with nearly 7,000 underserved addresses. Wow. The
Wow.
funds come through the state's completing access to broadband program, with Connecting Holding 2 LLC leading the expansion. It's the fourth broadband grant awarded to Pitt County following previous awards through the GREAT and the CAB programs. Local officials praised the state's partnerships and the rapid progress while noting that work will continue to reach the remaining hard to connect households. Hey, you hear the rest of it when we get back from the break, guys.
I am Miss Mary Cox. I'm Killer Thigpen's mother from Awesome Radio.
Hi, my name is Evangelist Ryan Keys, and I have a dream.
Welcome back, guys. Yes, just before we went on the break, we were talking about the news of the broadband expansion reaching its final stretch in Pitt County. So,
Yeah.
guys, I mean, it's fascinating too. You know, for I guess some of us that came from halfway across the world, do you think? I mean, do you imagine how surprising it is to find out that there are places out here that don't even have internet,
I mean, that's actually quite surprising, and
right?
Mhm.
it's all the game of perception and
Right,
the way things are being presented to us.
right.
Making you feel like, oh,
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't imagine that like there are places you will go
yeah,
to out here and like the network will get out of your phone, because I mean, the whole idea is that like everywhere is connected in America, things. I mean, it's just interesting. Yeah, so
yeah.
moving on. What else do
Yeah,
we have
moving
here,
on.
right?
Greenville Museum of Art secures major grant for collection
Yeah.
upgrades. Yep, yep.
Yes. I mean, there's just so many good news today. The Greenville Museum of Arts is getting a major boost to protect its permanent collection. The museum has secured 100,000 in federal and local grants to renovate its art storage vaults, a project aimed at preserving hundreds of valuable works, many from North Carolina artists. The funding includes $75,000 from the Institute of Museum and Library Services and support from local foundations. Plans include installing high density, climate safe shelving to better house paintings, pottery, and other works currently in cramped storage. The upgrade will also increase community access to the museum's collection and involve ECU interns in digital cataloging and education. That's a
Wow.
really, yeah, great news.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yes,
good
good
news
news
everywhere.
all around, guys.
Okay, moving on. Greenville Noon Rotary names 2025 scholarship winners. That's what we have on the headline. So,
Yes, so Greenville Notary names 2025 scholarship winners. The Greenville Noon Rotary Club has awarded 1,500 dollar scholarships to three outstanding local high school students: Joel Eddie Wedlock from the Innovation Early College, Caitlin Wood and Cameron Smith, both from Aiding Grifton High, were chosen for their academic excellence, community service, and thoughtful reflections on the Rotary motto, which is service above self. The recipients plan to attend ECU, UNC Wilmington, and UNC Chapel Hill,
Wow.
respectively. The Noon Rotary Club continues to support the community through local scholarships, cleanup efforts, and partnership with non-profits, all grounded in their mission to promote leadership and goodwill. So shout out to the Greenville Noon Rotary
yeah,
for the scholarship and for their service to the community.
yeah, great, great, great.
Yes.
So, moving on. $1.5 million grant boost flood prevention project on Fire Tower Road.
Yes, the city of Greenville has received a $1.5 million grant to support major drainage improvements and stream restoration along East Fire Tower Road. The project is designed to reduce flood risk and remove at least 26 properties from the 100-year floodplain. This grant adds to a previous 9.2 million FEMA investment, bringing a total funding close to $13 million.
Wow.
The upgrades are part of North Carolina's flood resiliency blueprint and will include culvert installations and new grading around Fork Swamp. City engineers say the improvements will help protect homes, infrastructure, and quality of life in this growing area.
Wow. Yeah. In the next news, we have Pitt County's sheriff office offers paid training for new recruits.
Yes, so Pitt County, are you looking to start a career in law enforcement? The Pitt County Sheriff's Office is now hiring deputy sheriff trainees. and no experience is required. New recruits will be paid while completing their required training. Cool. With a starting salary around $51,000 plus a raise after certification. The department emphasizes professional development, community service, and a supportive work environment. The sheriff wants us to have the best tools and feel proud of the work we do, said Sergeant Lee Donnell. Interested applicants are encouraged to apply now and begin serving their community.
Wow.
Deputy
Okay,
Patrick.
so moving on.
How appropriate.
moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on. We have our welcome teacher makes Pitt County history as NC Teacher of the Year.
Yeah.
That one deserves it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, so Rachel Candiso, an AVID teacher at Welcome Middle School, has been named the 2025 North Carolina Teacher of the Year, the first ever winner from Pitt County Schools. Wow.
Wow.
Our school celebrated with a pep rally and standing ovation as students and staff honored her passion and dedication. Candeso, a Teach for America alum, originally from Guam, teaches college readiness and leadership skills. State Superintendent Maurice Green praised her for helping bridge opportunity gaps in rural education. Candeso will now serve as an education ambassador and advisor to the State Board of Education, representing teachers across North Carolina and beyond, guys.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
moving
moving on.
Yeah, moving on, we have St. James Spring Fling returns with service, food, and community fun.
Yes. St. James United Methodist Church will host its annual Spring Fling on Saturday, April the 26th. The day begins with community service projects across Pitt County and continues with free events, including a swap meet, book sale, bake sale, and chicken dinner. Wow. Live music will run from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., capped off with a special worldwide worship session. It's a day of giving, celebration, and community connection, open to all.
Yeah, and moving on into sports news, this one will be our
Yeah.
favorite. If you see Vic is donning the
Yeah,
gray
as
Greenville
always.
United kit.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the next news is Greenville United kicks off the season tonight.
GUFC, GUFC. Yeah, we are perfecting our chants. So, Greenville United Football Club begins their much anticipated 2025 season tonight with a home match against NC Ballers FC from Charlotte. The match kicks off at 7 p.m. at John Paul II Catholic High School in Greenville. I think it's off of 14th Street. Fans can expect an exciting atmosphere with food trucks, bounce houses, and a family-friendly environment as Greenville, Eastern North Carolina's premier soccer team returns to action in the National Soccer Premier League.
You know, when you said the name of the stadium, it reminded me of two Corinthians.
Bro, I beg. I beg. I don't
Anyways, we'll move on
Yes.
to the next news.
Yes, guys.
High school sports update. Conley dominates South Central rallies.
Yes, so DH Conley softball secured its 10th straight win, defeating JH Rose 14-4. The Vikings remain undefeated in the conference at 9-0. South Central High pulled off a comeback victory against New Bern, winning 5-4 after trailing early. Meanwhile, West Craven shut out North Pitt 11-0 in softball and edged out a narrow 4-3 win in baseball. South Central Baseball also topped New Bern 9-8 in a back and forth thriller.
Yeah, and moving on to the next news, we have Pirates Open University of Alabama and Berkeley. Is that it?
In Birmingham.
Oh, and
Yeah.
Birmingham. Yeah, series with strong win.
Yes, East Carolina University Baseball kicked off their road series at UAB with a commanding 12-7 victory. Ethan Young earned the win with 5.2 innings of relief, while Colby Wallace and Braden Boris led the offense. The Pirates racked up 16 hits and capitalized on an early lead, snapping a series opening losing streak. The series continued through the weekend.
Yeah, and moving on to the last news of the day, NC grads to work info session this Tuesday.
Yes, so an informational session for the NC Grad to Work Scholarship will be held at 5:30 p.m. on Tuesday, April the 23rd at South Central High School's Media Center. High school seniors and their parents can learn more about career opportunities with companies like Thermo Fisher Scientific, Catalant Pharmaceuticals, and more. Contact Monica underscore Lasita at ncbiotech.org for details.
Details.
Hey,
You're still
we
on
have
here.
so many amazing things to talk about on today's episode of Pit Perspectives on Awesome Radio. Don't touch that dial. We'll see you right when we come back from this break. Stay tuned.
I am Miss Mary Cox. I'm Killer Pigpen's mother from Awesome Radio.
The gusto and grit of grandparenting. For Grandkids Matter, here's Ken Canfield.
On Thanksgiving, there are probably few surprises. Seating arrangement, menus, activities, who cooks, serves, and cleans, that may already have been set in stone. Here's an idea for you. Start a new tradition and get your kids and grandkids in on the act. Brainstorm with them for some ideas. Here are a few to start with. Organize a morning football game. After dinner, the men and kids help with dishes or handle them completely. Before or after dinner, the whole family goes for a walk. Over dessert, plan a Christmas outreach project for your entire family. From the oldest family member to the youngest, talk about each person's earliest Thanksgiving memory. For more tips and encouragement for grandparents, check out grandkidsmatter.org.
Yes. Welcome back. Welcome back. You're still on to Pete Perspectives on Awesome Radio Network 107.5 FM, 1570 AM, WECU. This is the premier show in Pitt County and the surrounding areas where we share stories, celebrate culture, and inspire community. So, guys, that's your quick look at what's happening around the county, from schools to sports to infrastructure. Let's keep building a community that stays informed and inspired. So, guys, today's theme is Barbershop Talk, real conversation about real life. Yeah, so now listen, we all know that barbershops and salons aren't just about cuts and styles, they are spaces for unfiltered truth. So today we are asking, what's a topic you think we need to have more real conversations about in Pitt County or in our communities in general? And what's one thing you'd say, if you knew people we are really, really, really listening?
Yeah.
So you can call us as always on 252-756-2008, or you can drop a message for us, drop an email, hello.pitperspectives@gmail.com, or you can drop a comment on any of our social media at Pit Perspectives. So guys, real conversations about real life.
Yeah.
Yes. One thing that really excites me about this particular topic is the fact that we're talking about real life situations.
I mean, real
things-
conversations
Yeah, real
too, so
conversations
it might not be popular, but
that affect
Right.
people's lives, which is quite interesting. I mean, it could be deep conversations around even mental health, among young
yeah, I know you have a
people.
very strong opinion about
among
that.
among men,
Yeah.
or your struggles, a lot of things that people are going through.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
Right.
it's
yeah,
important
facts,
to talk
yeah.
about them. Yeah,
Mhm,
Right.
Yeah, I would add, maybe financial literacy to the list.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
budgeting,
interesting.
credit, debt, these things shape our futures, and
absolutely.
but so many people never get taught how to handle them, maybe at a young age, for example. Imagine if we had money talks as often as we have sports debates.
Yes,
If we
so
had,
yeah, I mean, we'll get back to all of that. We'll kind of unpack that, but I mean, I'll throw in something around, say, community ownership. We talk a lot about what's wrong, but we can also talk about how we build. Do we know our neighbors? Do we volunteer? Are we using our gifts to, lift each other up? So, let's unpack this. You want us? Let's
Yes.
start with you, AY. Let's talk about mental health. Hey, this is real conversation about real life. What's
Okay.
your take, man?
Well, I think it's obvious to everyone that mental health is important.
Yeah, very important.
And we are not trying to downplay the importance
Right.
of people's mental health.
Yes.
It's as important
Ours
as
included.
physical health, really.
Right.
I just have some, just a little bit of restraint in terms of how people wear it as like a badge
A
on their
label.
head, and it's always looking like a lot of people try to hide some bad behavior, if I would say that, behind mental health, and they don't pay attention to how other people feel, but they're just always saying, "Oh, this is going to affect my mental health. I won't talk about it." I'm
Right.
like, guy, you need to be sensitive to other people's needs too, and
Right.
not be selfish.
Right.
Because and I think it's a new thing in terms of the way we talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some 20 years ago, maybe people won't talk that way.
Right.
People will be more sensitive to their neighbors, but I mean, it's looking like a culture of selfishness to me, and also making people a bit more fragile in the way
Okay.
they look at life generally.
Okay.
Because there are things that build fortitude in us in terms of the way we approach life. It builds this level of resilience, strength that we know, right? But
Right.
these days, if something is looking maybe difficult, or people like, oh no, I don't want to be part of it because my mental health,
Right.
like, mental health is important, and don't let us trivialize it
Right.
by you throwing the word around when it's not even
Right.
what is going on here. It has nothing to do with
I mean, who
you
gets
understand?
to decide though?
So-
I mean, think about like how people are different, and I mean, I'm just trying to, I guess, play the devil's
absolutely.
advocate here.
Absolutely.
And people experience life differently. People deal with things different. I mean, granted, anything taken too far.
So yeah, what I'm
Yes.
so my the point I'm even getting to is the fact
Right.
that when people misuse it or just throw it around anyhow, it makes the people that are actually going through mental health issues look like, oh, I mean, it's nothing because everybody's just throwing it around. Do you understand? So when somebody actually needs that care and the mental health attention that they deserve, because some other people have misused it and everybody thinks, oh, he's just talking about it's not that deep, right? But
Right.
it's actually it's a serious matter. It's something
Yeah,
that we
it
need to
is.
look
It
into.
is.
So if it's not it, don't brandish it and say,
So
oh, mental
who
health.
gets to decide what it is and what it's not? I guess that's really like the thing I'm trying to figure out. You said if it's not it,
Yes.
I'm trying to figure out like who gets to make the decision that, oh, this is a mental health issue or this is not, or what. I'm just
So first of all, there are professionals in that field,
okay.
right? That's like their job to
Okay.
diagnose people,
Okay.
to tell you if something is wrong somewhere.
Okay.
We have people that are trained,
Okay.
clinical psychologists,
All right.
therapists,
all of
therapists,
this,
and the
yeah,
rest of that. And then, I mean, they will certify you. Just like imagine, okay, I don't know if is a good example, but imagine some more serious physical health issues, and you just diagnose yourself. Oh, like you are down with this illness without a proper diagnosis from a doctor.
Okay.
Right now, let's try to translate that into what mental health is.
Right.
I've seen situations where people are just going through they're just going through maybe a rough patch, which happens to everyone in life, and they just put it on that mental health. And sometimes they even get to misbehave, quote and unquote, because that's what needs definition.
Okay.
What you term as misbehavior. But like I'm saying, general misdemeanor, just not being appropriate in
Right.
public or amongst other people,
Right.
and you just hide it under, oh, it's mental. So I'm like, guy,
Well,
just take responsibility for
hey,
what you're
I mean,
doing
I
and
get what
don't-
you mean, though.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess to be clear, all the views expressed by AY are
Yeah,
AY's views
yeah,
too.
those are his
So,
views,
I mean,
yeah.
guys, what do you think? What do you think about? I mean, we are starting off with like
I mean,
mental
it's
health.
barbershop.
What do you guys think? Yeah, I mean, real conversations about real life. Hey, we want to hear from you too. Call us on 252-756-2008. I mean, I can reel off the number even in my sleep at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, Patrick, what do you think, about mental health? Have you been, how's your mental health? Have
I
you,
think my mental health is in a good state
you think?
because yeah, I think and I know that for sure.
Okay. I mean,
That's
the conversation, really, why,
Oh,
his
with
opinion
yeah,
is,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, from his take, I would say, I mean, everybody has, an opinion. And I think he
Right,
validated his opinion. That's what matters, right?
right,
You have an opinion, it's good to
right,
validate it.
right.
And he made a lot of sense that sometimes people may hide behind mental health. And then the problem now comes in where people that are actually having struggles are now, shadowed because of these people that are
Right,
doing this without. So now
right,
they actually suffer more because of people,
right,
misusing their
right.
and for me, that when you mentioned mental health, I wasn't really thinking mental health. I was thinking more ADHD, and
Wow.
yeah, ADHD, which is like what most people would say, most young people like
Hmm.
college going would say, "Hey, I think I have ADHD," which is just like maybe an attention span because of our scrolling on social media or whatever. So that's what I think of when.
That is interesting. So, I guess I'd like to think that if you think about it, most people lose their lives, or I mean, part of this is cultural too, but most people, or some people, I'd say, don't get to share about, their mental health challenges. I mean, part of it could be cultural, a lot of it, too, could be cultural. So I'm thinking maybe on the one hand, what you said is a really valid point, but anything that brings, the conversation to the fore, anything that brings attention to the issue, I think can maybe serve its own purpose. Again, maybe between the false alarm of say mental health versus the real issue that people don't get to say, because sometimes it's come up in the news all the time where a quote unquote solidly perfectly fine person maybe takes their own life or does something, and then people realize, oh, this person has been struggling with this for a long time.
Yeah.
So I feel like we need to have more conversations, more honest
and
and
and those are the people that really need the attention and the help.
right.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not always easy to see that in the moment, guys. We'll be back right after the break.
Hello, my name is Daniel out of Greenville. Thank you for listening to Awesome Radio 107.5 FM, 1570 AM, WECU.
From the Pacific Justice Institute, this is The Legal Edge, defending your rights as a Christian, a parent, and a citizen. Here's Brad Dacus.
Chris and Nicole Trackle are parents of two students at Idaho Home Learning Academy, an online charter school. Like many parents, they customize their children's curriculum using Christian-based materials. Well, under Idaho law, the state reimburses families for supplemental educational expenses. But when the parents submitted their receipts, the state denied reimbursement simply because their materials were religious. Officials cited Idaho's constitution, which prohibits public funding for religious activity. But Pacific Justice Institute is pushing back.
Learn more about our ministry and get exclusive email updates by registering for the Legal Insider at pji.org. Remember the website, pji.org.
Welcome back to Pete's Perspectives on Awesome Radio 107.5 FM, 1570 AM, WECU. And I'm still here with my half amazing, half annoying co hosts, AY and Patrick. And we are talking about, real conversations about real life. And AY just started us off in that conversation talking about, you know, mental health. So I think it's timely too because we had some, comments, from folks in the community around, what they think we should have more real conversations about. And Austin Lux said we should have a real conversation around social media's connection to mental health. So, what do you guys think? do you all see a connection between social media and mental health? I mean, a lot of
Yeah,
things can affect one's
absolutely.
mental
So
health too.
I am an advocate for taking breaks, social media breaks, because there's a lot going on social media. Sometimes it feels like you are in a marketplace and
I mean,
everybody's screaming at you.
right,
So it's always good to once in a while take that break
right.
and just go off all social media platforms. Just and then the first time I actually tried it, I was off for like 3 months.
Oh wow.
And yeah, I was off for the
Wow.
first stretch of social media break I
Can
had,
you
and I've
survive
I've
that, Patrick?
done
No.
I've done more since then because, and the first thing I realized was that it doesn't change much. You're not missing anything.
I mean, that's for you though.
Yeah.
No, at least me to a large extent. You know that I'm always, keeping up Twitter and
Okay.
trying to know what's going on.
Okay.
And I like to be on top of the news
All
and
right.
what's going on and
Right.
just enjoy what people are saying online.
Yeah.
But when I took that break, at the time, currently I'm on social media. I'm not taking the break
Right.
currently. But like when I took that break at the time, I realized that really it didn't feel like I was missing anything.
Right.
When I was going to take that break, it felt like, hey, what's going to happen? Am I going to die or something? But I did die, obviously, as you can see. And then I realized that I didn't plan to stay that long, but it just felt like normal to be off social media, and that was why. And when I got back on social media, I had to gradually integrate myself because it was even feeling a bit odd to always be online at
Right.
the time.
Okay.
But after a while, I got used to it again. So what I'm trying to get at is social media is not that, oh, if I'm not there, I'm not going to survive.
Yeah, I mean, life is
Until you try it, you will know.
right, right.
So
right.
yes, and back to what the person was saying about the connection between social media and mental health, I feel like there's a lot of people are saying online, and there is no filter, and which is okay. I mean, I'm not for censoring. Do you
Okay.
understand? So I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that you should now be the filter, control
Okay.
what influence you're exposing yourself
Right.
to, because once access is granted, you cannot deny influence. Influence is at that point inevitable. It will
Right,
happen.
right.
You might not it might be very unconscious, but once you give people access to your space, to your head, to your mind,
Right.
they're going to influence you. So you need to be the censor, be the one
Right.
controlling what gets in. Yeah, that's what I'm
So
saying.
I think that's, I mean, a great point you make. I mean, in addition to all that, there is also the connection around, people showing the best of their lives. I mean, we hear this all the time that social media is not real life.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, there are folks there is always that sort of subliminal comparison, people comparing their lives
Yeah.
with other people. And
Yeah.
I think there has been research. I can't, remember exactly the details of the research, but there has been some research around the fact that just by how much choices people have these days, whether it's like with I mean, options, there are so many options really with anything at this point. A good part of that is also from the proliferation of social media. It's made people, I guess, worse off, in a lot of different ways. And you find out that people are always looking to keep up. People have this person they think, and people curate their lives, to show, I guess, the best of whatever they are having to deal with too. And at the end of the day, you find people, I think there's been a link too between like social media use and depression, too, and all that too. So, I mean, hey, you are Gen Z, Patrick, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, what's your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, before I even go into my opinion, we're still on Awesome Radio.
Yeah,
And
okay, yeah.
And our topic is barbershop talks.
Yeah,
and
real
we're keeping it
conversations,
real
yeah.
and raw, and
Yeah.
we're trying to have a safe space and all that. And so please do not forget to call on 252 756 2008.
Yeah,
Yeah. And so, I mean, going back to the ADHD that I mentioned earlier, for example, ADHD feels popular right now because more people are finally getting the language to describe what they've been feeling their whole lives. For example, social media like TikTok, Instagram,
Right.
Especially.
So just to break it down, ADHD, attention.
Yeah, I think it's something hyperactive attention disorder. Something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I know it has to do with like short spans, like holding attention for a short period of time. Like you can't hold your
Right,
attention on
right.
something for.
Right.
And I think me personally, I would say I've come to see that because if I compare myself to when I was younger and now, like when I used to go to school earlier, like wake up early at 7 a.m., I mean 6 a.m., full of energy, go to school and come back still energetic and be able to do chores and all that, and then
Right.
study, and then the next day rinse and repeat for years, 13 years from primary. And then now I come to college and I can barely make my 8 a.m. classes. Like
Oh
it's a
wow.
struggle to get to my
Really?
eight. Yeah, it's I
Do-
have three 8 a.m.
Does your
classes.
parents know?
I mean, I
Oh
don't
wow.
think, but the
So
truth
what's
is,
why though? Why?
I feel like it's
ADHD? Oh,
I don't know, but
okay.
for the most part, it's like my attention span isn't as great as it used to
Oh,
be, is what I'm
right,
saying.
right, right,
And
right,
that's
right,
true
right,
for
right.
most people. And I
Yeah, I
think
think
there's a lot,
generally, yeah,
yeah,
it's.
and that's true for most people. And I think that it's a trend, especially with college students.
Hmm.
And many people can tell, I've heard this so many times from my friends, like, yeah, I used to be very active in the morning, but I don't feel so active anymore. And oh, we have a
Oh, we have
caller
a
on the
call.
line.
Good morning. You're live on Pete Perspectives on Awesome Radio. Good morning.
Who do you have here? Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. You're live on Pete Perspectives on Awesome Radio. Who do we have on the line?
This is Onyemeyo from Nigeria, but residing in Greenville.
Oh,
Oh,
good morning, Onye Mayor, Onye Mayor. That name sounds
Yeah.
familiar. How you doing, my man?
hmm Everything is good. I'm the first time caller.
Oh yeah, yeah. Shout out, Onye Mayor. One day, KJ.
Are they okay, my brother?
Yeah,
We are for the
yes, yes,
culture.
yes. So this morning we are talking about, real conversations about real life. So, I mean, it's open to you. We've been talking about mental health, we've been talking about social media use and the link to mental health. So we are asking, is there any issues you think we should have, more real conversations about as a society or, even in the city or in this place? What do you think?
Well, as a society and as real life conversation, both mental health and everything you people are talking about is all good, it's all interesting.
Right.
But my contribution is like, let me start from Greenville being one of the top 100 places to live in.
Yeah, shout out to
That's a,
Shout out
Greenville.
to
that's a
Greenville,
Yeah,
great
yeah.
news. Understand? That's a very good news because
yeah,
people in Greenville, they will feel at home. They will, yeah, sure, I'm in the right place.
yeah,
Understand? Yeah, so I'm happy to hear that.
yeah. We are happy too.
Then, um, before now, I have gone to Wilmington
Mm-hmm.
and I see something like zoo
Hmm.
in Wilmington,
Mm.
but I noticed that there is nothing like that here in Greenville.
You mean like a zoo
Um, yeah, zoo where people can
and
go
see?
and animals because we are talking about mental health here,
Yeah.
and we are talking about building the community,
Right.
and we are talking about facilities.
Hmm.
Understand? So, won't maybe having a zoo here in Greenville be of a great impact to people because people love animals. Like a lot of people live with their dogs, a lot of people live with their cats, their pets,
Right.
you know. Then having a zoo here in Greenville will still make a better
Experience.
how do I put yeah it's a better idea for people to go in, look around,
Mm-hmm.
chill with loved ones, share experiences. So
Wow.
that's my own contribution this morning. So I don't know what the people will say about it.
Yeah, I'm sure the people would have some interesting things to say about it too. Honestly, I don't know what all goes into bringing a zoo, and all that. But I'm sure there are a couple of zoos. I think there's like a zoo in Asheville. There's like a zoo in. I don't think there's one in Raleigh. But I think it's there. There's obviously a lot of things that go into like those decisions. But hey, who knows? The folks at the county governments, might be listening. I've spoken to people in the community who listen to our show. So who knows? So the next time there's a conversation around bringing a zoo to Greenville, we will know you started it off first. How about that? Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be good.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
would be
great
good.
stuff, great stuff. So My man, tell us what are you planning to do for the rest of your day? What's your day like looking like today?
Like my day is like I'm listening to this
Mm-hmm.
program. Could you imagine that I wake up in the morning, I just have to go to kitchen, prepare my meal. I was like keeping the time on my clock,
Oh
ready
wow,
to do
wow,
whatever I want to do and sit for this program.
Oh
wow,
wow.
Understand?
oh, wow.
Yeah,
So
we truly
any
appreciate
other
that.
thing comes after listening to this program. I don't know how my day will be like for now
Oh
because
wow.
I'm still enjoying this program for now.
Oh man,
Understand?
yeah! Shout out to you. Yes, man. Yes, I hope you do
So
have an amazing day too, and keep being awesome. Keep listening to Pete Perspectives on Awesome Radio Networks. Hey, thank you so much, brother, for joining us, and thank you for calling in and keep listening. It's great to hear from you, man. Thank you,
yeah,
thank
Yeah.
you're
you.
welcome, bro. I
Yeah, man.
my was Patrick and AY, my
Yeah.
guys, you know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my.
you people are doing good. You people are doing well. I
Oh,
appreciate, huh?
thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank you
man.
very
Thank you,
much.
man. Have a good
All
rest of
right,
your day,
all right,
brother. Yeah.
all right. Bye.
All
Yeah.
right.
Look at you smiling like a fish. But
What?
it's-
What is that supposed? Who's?
yeah, that one suits
Oh,
you
oh
well.
my God.
Yeah, but I mean, that was a very surprising take too,
Yeah, yeah.
like zoos. I've never thought about that, but
Mm-hmm.
that I guess that's what happens when you give, the community the
Yeah,
opportunity
to share. Yeah.
to share. I'd be interested to, hear or sort of find out how many other people who share, the same.
Yeah,
Because I
the
mean,
same. Yeah.
the closest other zoo probably would be the one in Wilmington or Asheville. I know there's, one in Asheville too. Hey guys, you're still here on Pete Perspectives on Awesome Radio Network 107.5 FM, 1570 AM, WECU. And we are talking about, barber shop talks today, real conversation about real life. And we've talked about everything from social media to mental health and everything in between. So, DeLeon Judel said in the comments, we should talk about why and how social media has taken over social interactions. I think that's also
Yeah.
another. So do you think social media has made us more connected or less connected? I guess that's what he's driving at.
Um, well, I would say it has made us more connected, but less engaged in that sense, if I'm using the right words.
Or even
But
more connected and less
yeah,
connected in
yes, yeah.
some
What I'm
sense
trying
too,
to
yeah.
say is like we now get to see more people and what they're doing,
Right.
which is good,
Right.
but there are less meaningful connections in terms of. So, for example, I think it was myself and Patrick. We were on a bus. I think it was 301 or something, the gold bus. The other day, we were going to see Marshmallow, and I was telling Patrick to look into the bus, and everybody, and I'm not even exaggerating, I mean everybody on that bus was on their phone. Except me, of course, because that was the
Except
only
me as well. What do
you are your phone.
So first of all, are yours phone in good condition? First of all,
Obviously.
yeah. Oh, okay.
So like I
mean, like-
I was pointing out to him to see, and that was the way I could have noticed that anyways.
Right.
If I was on my phone, I probably wouldn't have seen that.
Right,
So,
right.
yeah, so but like I just paused for a moment and I looked, everybody, they were pressing their phones. I'm like, this is not just on the bus, it happens everywhere. Like,
I mean, even some folks here drive and they're on their phone.
their
I mean,
phone.
that pisses me.
And then you're on the dinner table, you're pressing your phones. And while we were growing up, these were times, I mean, family times where people get to share, talk to their family and stuff. But these days, people are pressing their
It's super
phone.
addictive too.
Yeah. So, and I'm not saying this because I don't do it. I do it too. In fact, I remember there was a particular evening that Miss Eunice had to correct me, like, when you're like on the table, do not use your phone. I had to put my phone away. So I'm not saying it because I don't do it. I actually do it too.
Right.
So, but like it's just an observation.
Right.
I've noticed that a lot of people are always using their phone, and these are times that they should be talking to people
In
and
real life.
in real life, and connecting to people.
So I'm wondering, that means we are losing like real life connection skills too.
Yes, I
Because some folks right now, especially people in Patrick's generation, Nah, I feel so old saying that. Guys, I'm not really that old. Yeah, but I mean, people are losing like the ability to have real, conversations in real life. I mean, people can't even look other people in the face these days. I don't know if COVID played a part in that, because I had something around essentially around the fact that a lot of the kids who graduated high school around that time, there's probably some research around the fact that they find it difficult to make, to have real life interactions, form real life friendships and all that, more so than the generations previously. And how part of that is because they were the first, they were in the thick of that, because I mean everything went virtual. That was when the whole online learning, online options sort of blew up. So let's talk to someone like I guess representative of that Indomie generation. So yeah, Patrick, what do you think? Like,
I don't. Well, I would say yeah, I did. When COVID hit, 2021, I was in grade 11. I was in 11th grade.
2020, 2021, but
2019, 21.
Yeah.
When it started.
Right.
Yeah. So I remember it's very vivid in my head because in South Africa when COVID hit, we went into like a lockdown.
Yeah, everybody did.
And for like 3 months, 4 months, we didn't have school. I mean, at first we were like, oh wow, what is this? Like, we're all surprised. And it's funny because, okay, so funny thing is, this is Africa. This is South Africa, right? And we started hearing the stories about COVID and people wearing masks, and it was weird to us. I won't lie.
Quarantine.
Yeah, it was like, I won't lie, it was weird to us. Like, one of the girls in our class, I mean, she used to be, I don't want to say, but she used to like live a different life from us, I think. Because she came in with a mask and gloves, and we were all.
Hey, what is this?
Yes, we were all like, what's this? And then before we knew it, by the next month, we're in lockdown and all that.
Oh, wow.
And then I like the people ahead of me. So one grade ahead of me, are actually the ones that graduated high school,
right?
with COVID, like lockdown
wow.
and all that, and they had to take their final exams and all that during COVID. I mean, even we were also affected because it's just a year before that, and it's like the batch, the 3 years of that class got affected, and so yeah, I would say it's. I mean, you were more online, we had so many breaks. Even when we went back to school, we didn't go back to school fully. We'd go like, this week we would go to school for 2 days. We'd go a day, skip a day, and go like just for quarantine and all that, and social distancing. And it was just, yeah, social distancing.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Whoa, it feels like such a long time ago.
Yeah, social distancing really became, it really transformed us into being socially distant. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, that's a smart way to put it too.
Obviously,
Wow.
I mean, my brain-
Surprisingly. Nah, man, I'm always giving Patrick the stick too. It's fun. But I mean, whenever you get the chance to give me hell too, that's when you're your happiest.
I don't know
Yeah,
about that, but
Patrick
okay.
is his happiest when he's attacking me. Yeah, guys, I mean, it's been an amazing conversation so far. I mean, wow, it's been insightful. And we're still here on Pitt Perspectives on Awesome Radio Network 107.5 FM, 1570 AM, WECU. And the conversation today has been amazing. It's been everything from social media to mental health to COVID to social distancing and everything in between. So, guys, I guess we're trying to.
So, well, I mean, before we go shortly on that break, anyways, when we get back, I'll get to what I was about to say.
Yeah. Hey, don't touch that dial. You're still here, guys.
On the other side.
Hello, my name is Daniel from Greenville. We appreciate you for listening to Awesome Radio 107.5 FM, 1570 AM, WECU Radio in Greenville.
I'm Miriam Neff with New Beginnings. Frederick Douglass is known as a great orator, writer, and abolitionist. He learned to read and write at the age of 12. He taught other slaves to read the New Testament. Teaching them to read was unprecedented. The New Testament was his textbook, invaluable. He was nominated for Vice President of the United States. Little known today, but respected in his day. In his support of women's rights, he argued that he could not accept the right to vote as a black man if women could not also claim that right. Genesis 5:1, all humans made in God's image. A man before his time in many ways, yet a man speaking for God's original intention for all people from creation.
This feature at widowconnection.com.
Yes, I understand we have a call. Good morning. You're live on air on Pitt Perspectives on Awesome Radio. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, this is Onyemayo calling again.
Oh, wow. Mayor. Yeah, we are lucky. Yes, man. What's up, brother?
So, what I'm trying to say at this time is that I noticed something.
Right.
It's like Patrick, is it Patrick or AY? Maybe AY said when he was at the bus that a lot of people are with their phones, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was AY. It was AY.
Okay. See, the social media is good.
Right.
And it's bad when people start abusing it.
Right.
Exactly.
Understand? Because I have noticed that in this country, 99% are guilty of whenever they go into the steering, start their car, start moving, they will bring out their phone.
Wow.
which is very, very, very scary.
It's illegal too. Yeah, it's illegal.
Yes. You will saw people with their loved ones in the car, they are driving and they are pressing their phone.
Wow.
They are watching one thing or the other, which is very, 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 very bad and risky.
Wow.
And we are talking of how to develop the community,
right?
How to stay safe in the community,
right?
How to build up the community. At least we in Greenville, we are lucky enough that we are part of the good side of the country where it's safe for people to live in, right?
Right.
So please, if the police should hear this, or whoever that is in charge, or the governor, that this should be a law that will pass, that anytime you are driving, please keep your phone.
Right.
I think it's already there.
Yeah, I think
it's already
yeah, I think
It's
it's
a law.
kind of illegal.
Yeah.
I think it goes back to the social media addiction we are talking about. I think people are addicted to
And
their
that's supposed
phones
to
at
use your
this
phone while
point.
driving, actually.
You know, and
Don't text and drive is a thing.
Yeah,
again.
it's wrong to do that.
You will see that maybe somebody is coming from, maybe I'm in Greenville and I'm going to Wilson.
Right.
Just like 30 to 35 minutes. Why can't you calm down, relax, and keep your phone? When you go to where you are heading to, you will start pressing your phone and you will watch whatever you want to watch.
Yeah. I'm sure people have lost their life.
Yeah.
You know, once they start their car, they will start, and you know you cannot be driving and be watching your phone, because it's all about concentration. It's all about focus.
Yes.
Understand?
Yeah.
It's quite unfortunate here. I came in from England.
Right.
In England, you don't do such a thing.
Oh wow.
If police sees you, if police catches you, they are going to stop you and they are going to charge you for it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But here in the United States, a lot of people see it. Okay, let me put it this way: the United States people see it as a normal thing, and they are doing it as a normal thing, which is very, very risky.
Oh wow.
Oh, that's interesting.
Wow.
So whoever that is doing, or the way, or how the people that are doing those stuff, they should stop. It has to stop for their safety, for their own safety.
Right.
And for the safety of their loved ones, and for the safety of other road users.
That is, I mean, I hear the emotions in your voice too, because I'm sure this is something that has really,
it's not good.
Bothered you for.
It's not safe at all.
Right.
You cannot be driving and you know, social media is something that is addictive.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Mm-hmm.
When you are watching something that is maybe something that you get interested in, you will lose focus. You will lose your attention.
Wow.
Understand? Because I now see that a lot of people, they read their DMV test just to go there and pass the exam
Right.
and cram it.
Right.
They don't read it to pass it and for them to apply it when they start driving.
Right.
Understand?
Right.
And which is not good.
Right. So, Mayor,
you.
thank you so much
I
for
called
thank you so much. We're actually running out of time, but I mean, we love hearing you. I mean, it's real conversations about real life, and I mean, would be glad to continue this conversation on the show next week, actually. So,
I think we should have some
hopefully we'll have you call in next week too, and we continue the conversation from where we stopped. But thank you so much for calling in, and I hope you do have a great, rest of your day. We just have a couple minutes left though. But Patrick, let's take a look at some of the upcoming, in the short time we have.
So upcoming events in Pitt County, Greenville United FC versus NC Ballers tonight.
Yeah.
And that is from 7 p.m. at John Paul II Catholic High School. Come cheer on Greenville United in their 2025 season opener. Family fun, food trucks, bounce houses. Do not miss it.
Right. So we have NC Grads to Work Info section at South Central High School on April the 23rd at 5:30 p.m. High schools, seniors and parents learn about career-ready scholarships and job path with top employers.
Yeah, and then we have PCC International Day, which is on April 24th from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. and that will be at Goes Student Center, Winterville. And travel the world without leaving the county. Food, dancing displays from 22 plus countries, free and open to all.
Yes, so there is a catfishing basics workshop at River Park North on April the 26th from 9 a.m. to noon for ages 12 plus. Learn how to catch catfish in this hands-on outdoor workshop.
And then it's at Celebration on April 26th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. East Carolina Village and Farm Museum. Enjoy plant sale, environmental exhibits, and community fun.
Yes, we have St. James United Methodist Church Spring Fling next Saturday, all day. Volunteer service projects, swap meets, live music, food, and a special worldwide worship service. So, guys, before we go, remember that sometimes.
And it's Easter today.
Yes, it's Easter. Happy Easter for all who celebrate, guys. It's been an amazing time. Hey, guys, we'll see you on next week. Don't touch the dial.
Bye.
Yeah.
Oh my God.